Athletes, Eric Steinke. Eric, good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, it's been about a year. I was just looking the
Really?
other day, so.
Wow, it went by fast.
Yeah, it did.
I was familiar with some of the things you're doing in the Jackson area this past summer with the camps that you
Yep.
have at Spring Arbor University, and that's a pretty big part of what you're doing.
Yeah. I heard, I was just talking to your son, and the granddaughter went, I think, to camp, the Spring Arbor camp there, so. Yeah, with the camp, we had over 560 registered. Middle school, high school athletes, as well as almost 80 college athletes that helped out and ran our huddles, our small group huddles. So 14 different sports were available to learn and train in, and then also we did a lot of spiritual formation throughout the week as well.
It's not just the major sports. I think a lot of people consider, think about FCA as, football. It's a football group. But all sports.
Right, all sports. Yep, we had archery there, and we're growing a lot in the outdoor sports area. Actually, when we say, my president of FCA says our desire is to meet every coach and every athlete. And when we say every, it means every. And so that includes all abilities. And so we have all abilities camp too that we ran this last summer over in Kalamazoo. Mm-hmm. But that is for anybody with special needs. So we try and reach everybody. It doesn't matter what sport you play in. So it's been great.
Well, let's look at 2025. How many students? How do you measure the success of a year at FCA?
Yeah, so we don't really focus too much on the numbers, but it does help us to get a gauge of where we're at and how God's been blessing us with some incredible growth. So 2025, we've had 31 huddles, and that is a Bible study or a club, FCA club, that happens in a middle school or a high school or a college in the South Central Michigan area, which is Jackson, Hillsdale, Lenway, Monroe areas. So, and then the other numbers on the screen are the 56 empowered leaders, and those are volunteers. Those are the coaches. Those are the ones that are pouring into the students day in and day out. Staff, and then has grown as well, those team of people that are working with me to accomplish all of this. Average is about 20 students in a given huddle. And so those 20 students, if you times it all out, that's like, 620 students that are actively involved in our area in a weekly Bible study, weekly huddle, basically.
Well, that's a lot with just 4 staff, but it's not staff that leads the huddles or the groups.
Right. So we have those huddle coaches, like I said, those coaches we look for staff on campus in these different schools, the willing to be boots on the ground and pour into, mentor, guide, the students, because you learn so much in sports, so much, teamwork, holistic well-being, overcoming obstacles, the emotional well-being, the physical well-being, but also spiritual well-being, and that's what we're capitalizing on. And so we use coaches, huddle coaches, people that are willing. They could be a teacher, it could be a staff person at a school, but they're willing to guide someone like a coach would. So
I didn't hear you say winning. When you think with sports camps, you think about, we're focusing on being the best and winning.
Right.
Is that part of your mission?
Well, we talk about winning at home first, and what's the priorities in our life, really. We talk a lot about identity. Athletes today, they have this identity that, I'm such a great athlete, or I've proven myself to be this incredible athlete, have all these accolades come in, and we say that's all going to fade. Whether we retire one day as a professional athlete, or whether we get injured, and our identity in that whatever we're talented in may fade, but our identity in Jesus Christ will never fade. So we capitalize on that, and like I said, we win at home first. We win with who you are as an individual and in your identity and who you are. So.
This past year, you had a leadership camp at Mission Doll and sports camp at Spring Arbor, and we have a clip giving you an idea of what some of that was all about.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. Were you one of the kids back in the day when you were a student athlete?
That's a good question. No, I wasn't familiar with FCA back in the day, so I was an athlete. Believe it or not, I was a swimmer. It was a few pounds ago for me, but yeah, I was a swimmer back in high school, and so grew up doing that. But again, we knew the influence that my coach had on my life, Coach V, back in the day, and he was a great influence just on my life. So we capitalized on that of coaching once again. So,
how do people get involved if someone wants to look at the camp for their kids or for themselves, or if they would like to volunteer or be part of a huddle or getting huddles going in middle or high school?
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier when I met you that you read my newsletter. So that has a lot of stuff that's going on in our area. And just from that newsletter I sent out yesterday, I already got a mom that reached out to me because her son wants to start a huddle at Columbia Central, new huddle there, starting at the middle school there. So excited about where God's leading us, but to get a hold of me would be on our website, which is scmifca.org. So that's the easiest way to get a hold of me and any of the staff in FCA. So
I think the most interesting part of your newsletter, you had several testimonials,
yes.
which I read those first, and I think you get a lot. You get a sense of what your mission is all about, and I guess more so the impact that you've had on people that take the time to write those comments.
Yeah. So, like I said, it highlights each of my different staff, kind of writes in a little bit different, and then they have some of our people in our area talk about it. This one story came to me the other day was I was walking through a grocery store with my wife, and I was wearing an FCA hat, and this lady at the grocery store, I don't even know her name, but she stopped me and pointed to my hat and said, "Thank you for your service. Just thank you for your service." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm glad to do that. I'm glad to help out." And I said, "You work at a school or something?" And she said she works at Addison schools. And at Addison school, she said, I get to watch all these students once a week walk down to their FCA huddle. And it's just, I know the influence that you're having on those students. And like last week, I think there was like 35 or 40 students at that huddle. And so just for that lady to take the time to recognize that and to point it out to me was just made me feel good too, that I'm making a difference in people's lives. So
yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the camp is coming up this summer in June at Spring Arbor University, and people people can sign up right now.
Yep, it's open right now. We are filling up, honestly. We're probably less than 100 away from being full for the year.
All right, get signed up. Register online. Great to have you partner with us here at JTV, and thanks for coming in.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Eric Steinke is the area director for South Central Michigan and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.